Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm your host, Milana Butera. Welcome to Committed. I'm 22 years old, and I just wrapped up 4 years of collegiate hockey at Long Island University in New York. And I'm finishing my degree in nutrition while stepping into the next chapter of my life. I wanted to talk about more of who I am. I feel like for so long I've had a lot of different passions and different routes that I've wanted to explore in, but I feel like I was always so shaken up by it or just nervous about it that I just didn't really know in what direction to go in or what would be the right time. This podcast isn't just about hockey, even though that's what most people have always known me for. It's about identity shift and what happens once something that once defined you no longer does. Moving away at 18 was one of the most hardest and scariest things I've ever done, but at the same time, the best thing that I could have ever done for myself. The goodbyes were brutal and still are every time that I leave home. They're not easy, I promise. I could feel myself outgrowing this environment. I lived in a small town and I knew that it just wasn't really good for me to stay there over a long period of time as I did my entire life. And I knew I needed something different. And then New York came along. I committed to LIU women's ice hockey team in 2021. And I remember thinking, I'm literally going to be arriving in the fall of 2022. This is literally insane. How is this possible? Where am I going? What am I going to do? There's absolutely no way I can just hop on a train in about 45 minutes and be in the city. Like, literally, who am I? Like, what life am I living? It was so insane. To this day, I still can't believe how easy and simple it is. And let's just say the city wasted no time humbling me. I'm not even kidding. First trip, got punched in Times Square. Like, are we serious? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean, Milana? Yeah, that's a story I want to tell for another time. But another one was falling through the train tracks, trying to catch a train, which looking back is literally insane. And somehow in between of all that, I dressed for my first NCAA game as a goalie, even though I hadn't played goalie since playing mini sticks with my brother. All of this just to say that figuring it all out was a part of the process. This podcast was something that stemmed from a thought of my mom and I. We had a conversation about maybe me starting a book, and I was like, Mom, I don't even read books. Like, I dislike reading so much. I'd never write a book. I'm like, and plus, like, that would take me so long to do and to edit, like, no. So I'm like, a podcast is exactly where I want to start from. This is exactly a dream that I've always had. And I just love talking. Like, if you know me, you know that I can literally talk for hours on end. And if that is something that I can do, why not have people on here? Why not have real and raw conversations? This is where we go deeper. We don't just scratch the surface level anymore. Because I truly believe that there's so many topics that we can sit here and talk about that just haven't been before or that are just not honestly talked about. I've actually wanted to start this podcast for the last 4 years. And like most people, I kept waiting for the perfect time. Like, I'll start when I feel ready, when I know exactly what I'm doing, when everything aligned. That just doesn't always happen. And I felt like I just kept making excuses and excuses. And that wasn't me committing at all to anything that I was really passionate about. And then I realized that moment doesn't actually exist. Growth doesn't happen when it's perfect. It happens when you decide to commit. So this is me choosing to commit, even before I fully feel ready. Doesn't matter what the outcome may be. I'm excited and I'm passionate, and that's all that matters. I have always dreamed of something like this. And I felt like, especially going into college, this is something that I really looked towards. I was like, wow, like, I truly wish that there was something that I could come into and to just like go online, search up maybe a podcast, or like maybe there was an influencer to help guide me in the direction of how to prepare for college or what to expect out of college sports, anything like that. Like how to meal prep, how to eat healthy, like how to stay fueled as an athlete. I feel like these are all certain questions that have definitely crossed my mind. And I know I'm not the only one. So this is why I really wanted to dial in create a podcast for individuals who are truly excited about what's to come. And I feel like truly excited about their future and maybe have questions. I've had so many people that have reached out to me, like friends or people that are going into college who are like, what do I do for this? What do I bring? Like these little things are basic, but also are questionable because everyone's going into their freshman year being like, I'm entering my new year of college. Like I'll figure it out as I go, which typically you do. And I definitely have as well. But if I can create a guide for someone or just to create a safe space for someone to come on here and be like, oh, wow, like this is what it's about. Or wow, like I'm so happy I knew that because I didn't know that before. Like that is my goal. And like I want to create a platform for people to just gain knowledge, become inspired, and be so rooted in everything that they do. Being a student athlete shaped almost everything about me. It taught me structure, leadership, how to handle pressure, and how to have tough conversations, and how to show up on days when I really didn't feel like it. Because quite frankly, that was the hardest thing sometimes, especially being a collegiate athlete. Showing up to the rink every single day is not always easy. And showing up to class every day isn't always easy. In terms of being an athlete, there are a lot of ups and downs, a lot of days that are tough to go to the rink, to show up every day, to be your best self. As a leader this past season, I have learned so much about who I am. My freshman year, I played 3 games, and in that time frame, that's the first time in my life that I truly was facing something difficult, because all my life I've been put in the lineup, I've been given the opportunities, and I've been successful in those opportunities. And obviously as a freshman in college, especially playing a sport, you're new and you're learning how fast the game is, the pace of it, the skill work of it, learning the systems. All these things are so crucial. And I feel like, often individuals, just talking about athletes in general, are so hard on themselves, especially coming in, expecting this really high standard of themselves to maybe play every game. And that's not always the case, and that's okay. I remember going home feeling so sad, being like, are people going to ask me how many games I played, or what are my stats, how many goals I scored? Like, am I on the power play? Am I on the PK? All these things, I was feeling like this daunting cloud over my head. And I was like, I literally don't know how I'm going to tell people that I didn't play. But that's the reality of things. It's okay. It's okay to face hardships. It's okay to face things that are tough and to push you, because that time in my life pushed me to be closer to God, pushed me to feel more of my emotions, and to work harder, and to go ask for more help, and to reach out to the coaches and say, what can I do more to get in the lineup? What more can I do to, just get the opportunity? These are things that I feel like looking back, was proud of myself for doing, because I know it's not easy, especially when you're in the thick of it all. Sophomore year, I came in and I played more games. I played all but 3 games, which was a huge step. I was not expecting that, but I just was expecting myself to work hard, and hard work beats talent. And I know that's so cliche and that's like so cheesy to say, but it truly does go further, and it speaks volume when someone puts the time and effort into to do better. Following into my junior year, I also played more games. I was, getting more opportunities. And then following my senior year, I definitely reached a different peak in my college career. I was on the PK. I, was ranging with all different lines. And that was honestly something that pushed me as well. And just to play with anyone. It didn't matter who I played with. As long as I was playing, I was happy. And I was proud of myself for getting to where I was at. I also got named assistant captain, which put me into a new role. I've had different leadership roles in the past, and was, always had that leadership mentality and always had that within myself. But I was put to a new level of being a leader, working with individuals who are more of my age group, working with individuals who had different mindsets than me. And it pushed me to be a better leader and a better individual every single day. Showing up to the rink, dealing with different challenges, conquering different things as a group. These were all things that I look back on after the season just ended literally a month ago. And I'm like, I'm so beyond blessed to have had that opportunity to lead my team, to second of all, just working with different individuals and just being able to truly lead by example. Leading by example is never easy. Sometimes it feels like a lot of pressure. It feels like a lot of eyes are on you. It's really hard to walk in the rink from being a student for the first half of your morning to now being an athlete. Like, that's never easy. And, you have a lot of things outside of the rink that sometimes come into the rink, and you have to figure out a way to kind of put that aside and to be there for your team because your team needs you. We had a lot of conversations throughout the season of how we could be the best teammate possible. And I can't wait to have a lot of my teammates on here, or just teammates I've had in the past, to have these conversations, because I feel like I've met so many amazing people along the way, and different teammates have shaped who I am today, that I just want to share the love and to share the personalities on this podcast, and just to kind of have these conversations about how you can be a better teammate, how you can be a better individual, how you can be a better athlete. And those are topics that I know can resonate with a lot of people. In terms of health, nutrition, again, has always been something that I've been so interested in. I feel like for the longest time, I didn't really know what I wanted to do in college. To be honest, at first, like I mentioned, I was in health science, which is very broad in terms of like what you can do with your career. And I came across a lot of amazing professors or classmates within my university, and they really, not pushed me in a sense that it was pressure, but pushed me in a sense of like motivation. Like, if you're really into nutrition, you really should get into it. And I'm so grateful for that, because I've met, again, amazing people here, that people I would call best friends, and that I will leave here and still keep in contact with, which is something that, again, I never thought a major would do for me. Typically, like, you just go in the classroom, learn the material, and you leave. But no, I truly have a really good group of girls that I love, and I look forward to going to class every single day. And it's fun because we like go back and forth with the new trends or what's right from wrong. And these conversations that we literally have in class are crucial, and they are so raw and honest and real that I can't wait to bring onto this podcast and just talk more of. That's another section that I'm going to have here, is health and wellness. I have a lot of people that would love to share their insight and that would love to just speak upon this topic. Health is misunderstood 90% of the time. And that is where individuals like myself, who are learning every single day about the field, can come on here and clarify. I'm not perfect, like I said, in my own field now. I am finishing up my undergrad and going into a 2-year program of nutrition and dietetics. And then right after that, I will take my RD exam and pray to God that I pass. I'm not the best test taker, but I'm going to work so beyond hard in order to get that, because that's such an accomplishment in life. To tend to people's needs, to work in a setting where we can help individuals become healthier versions of themselves, or even in the state that are there in chronic conditions and need dietitians alongside nurses, SLPs, all these different, practitioners. I'm so grateful that I'm going to be one of those people. In terms of family, I have one brother. He is 26 years old and he's a real estate agent. Very successful. So if you need a house, let him know. If you're looking in the market, he can definitely help you. More so for Canadians, sorry, Americans. He probably could still help you, but he is so genuine, and so he's a teddy bear. I hate to say it, Dante, I'm sorry. I have to say it. You really are. And, if I ever need anything, I know to call my brother right away. And he and I have such a good relationship. And I'm so grateful, because I know that that's not always the case in most families or in most siblings. And he has supported me day in and day out. And I remember the first time he ever left, like him and my family left me for school, he looked at them and was like, how are you guys just leaving her here? Like, this is insane. She's literally in New York. She's gonna be living here and we're leaving her. Like, we're literally driving home without her. So I thought that was funny, because every time we leave each other, we cry. And my mom and dad, of course, too. And like I said, the goodbyes are never easy, but my family has truly supported me in every which way of this journey. And I have no clue what part of my life I would be at without them. My mom is truly my best friend. She is the kindest individual that you will ever come across. She is so loving and caring, and she will always put me in my right place too. She is real and honest as well. And she has come out here on occasions that I need her the most, or just times that are hard and miss her and miss my family. So she really is my best friend, and I can't wait to have her on here and to have other conversations about a mother-daughter duo. My dad will be the most tenacious person alongside myself. But no, in reality, he is such a hard worker, and he truly also has shaped me into the person I am today, has, given me and my brother everything that we have today, and has set us up for such success in our life. And so grateful to have a father figure like him. They make it really easy to be this far, yet keep such a strong relationship and bond. We literally call every second. Like, I'll be walking to class and I pick up the phone and I'm like, hi, I know I just called you, but what are you doing? Can you guys call me at the family event? I want to be a part of it still, yada, 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 whatever. And my best friends at home, they literally have come to so many things, have visited me so many times out here, and they truly mean the world to me. I am so blessed. And I know I say that so many times and I express that to them so many times, but I even call them like that all the time. Like, I'm calling them 24/7, and even they're like, they would never say it to me because I know they're too sweet to say it, but I know they're like, she's calling again. Are we serious? But I have so much to say to them, and I love them. And having good friends support you throughout this journey, and especially long distance. I feel like long distance friendships, or even like relationships in general, are hard to maintain. And especially if you're not seeing the individual for a certain amount of time, it can create a little bit of maybe friction, a little bit of a void. And I feel like that's sometimes a make or break for a lot of relationships, or just friendships in general. And I'm so grateful for mine, and that continue to put the effort in, and to continue to put the time to call me, or to send me nice notes, or to even come out and see me. My friends have seen me so many times while being in the last 4 years. And I, again, look back and I'm like, I'm so blessed. Like, how did I get friends like this? Like, I don't need a lot. I need a small group. And these friends put everything into our friendship. And I know, looking back, that I don't need to talk every day in order to maintain our friendship. We can pick up where we left off. And also at the same time, I called them. I'm like, you guys are getting on this podcast. Like, I cannot wait for them to be on this podcast. It's probably going to be hectic. I've been friends with most of them throughout all of high school and all throughout college. Some of them I met along the way, and our friendship is still like, we've been friends for like literally forever. So yeah, like, I feel like you're going to really love them, and the conversations, I'm sure, are going to be insane, and I'm sure going to be so informative, and yeah. And I'm sure a lot of stories will be told. My relationship. I'm also in a long distance relationship. I've been in a long distance relationship for the last 3 years. My boyfriend and I live in 2 different countries. I'm from Canada, if I didn't mention that already, and he is from the United States. And doing long distance is something that I've never done in my entire life. It honestly helped me to truly put so much time and to really be intentional with everything I do. Just everything has a purpose. Our conversations do, and just trying to be in the moment, especially. But yeah, this relationship that I've been in is something that I am so lucky, and I just am the happiest person ever. Like, if you get the chance to do long distance, I know it's not made for everyone, and it's definitely tough, but it allows you to grow too. I remember at first being a long distance being like, this is going to be so hard. Like, I don't even know why or how I got here, but I met him freshman year, and we are both on the hockey team. He's on obviously the men's, I'm on the women's hockey team. And we had met through the whole dynamic of like the men's team just always hanging out. And I remember the first time we went on our first date, he opened the door for me and I was like, sorry, why are you doing that? Like, why? I can get my own door. Like, I'm a big girl. And I was like calling my dad. I'm like, Dad, like, you'll never believe this. Like, why is this guy opening the door for me? Like, this is so weird. Like, I've never had that happen before. He's like, Milana, he's a gentleman. I'm like, oh, I didn't expect that. Like, I don't know why. I've never had that. So ladies, get your man in check. Get your man opening your door for you, because that's a big deal breaker now for me. Like, and it should be for anyone. And yeah, obviously just like super blessed to have someone that, first of all, does that. Second of all, cares so deeply for me. He is also a man of God. Let's talk about that, ladies. A man of God. Like, a man of God puts his priorities in check. First of all, when we first started dating, I didn't really know his like status of being, a Christian or a Catholic, whatever he was. I really had no clue. I had no preference. I just was like, I knew he had some type of faith. So as we started dating, we went to church every Sunday together, and we just found a common ground of we both keep God at the center of our hearts. And that was something that I found very attractive in him. And I was like, you prioritize God. And that is something that's so crucial. Like, I want you to prioritize God before us. And so that you can be a better man for me. And I can be even myself. Like, I want to prioritize God before him so that I could be a better significant other for him every single day. And that is something that we both were like, yes, we need to keep, fueling that aspect of our lives, and we want to keep going towards that. So when that conversation got brought up, I was like, yeah, ding, ding, ding. So check off that. Opening the door for me, gets me flowers, check that. Yeah, not to brag, ladies, but definitely very grateful. And make sure, like, it wasn't even pressurized. Like, I felt like I wasn't even looking for anyone. I wasn't really in that time in my life where I was like, I need a boyfriend or whatever, or I wanted a boyfriend, but God placed him in my life at the exact time that I needed him. And looking back, I could have never gotten through the tough times without him, and was my constant. And that's all I could have ever asked for, especially a man of God. That's something that I will go back to every single time. My faith has grown exponentially. Where I was freshman year, or even like remembering back to high school, was much different and where I'm at today. I would say that I lean on God in every aspect of my life. And I know this sounds so cliche or cheesy, but I would never be where I am today without him. And leaning into my faith rather than being scared and hiding it is something that I'm so happy about, and that I'm finally coming into terms with. Like, no, he has gotten me out of the hardest times in my life. And also, like, you can't just pray when you need him. You can't just lean on him when it's hard. You have to put time into it. Just like anything else, just like schoolwork, your relationships, your eating habits, put time into the Lord. Because without him, again, I would not get through half the things that I've gone through. When I am struggling in certain areas of my life, I pray to him. And when I'm praying, I'm intentional about it. I'm not just praying and being like leaving. And I'm like, oh, I'm so worried about it. Or like, oh, I'm like still thinking about what I just prayed about. That's not what the Lord calls on. He calls on you to lean on him and to put all your worries in his hand. And that's something that I've grown so far in, that I'm like, I've seen the growth in myself and how far I've become. And this is where I can't wait to dive into and talk more about it. I have so many guests that I want to bring on here and talk about their spiritual growth and my spiritual growth. I have so much more to talk about. So that's why I'm super excited, because it's another topic that I can't wait to discover more about. Being a Canadian, I live in Ontario, Canada, and I live in a small town called Kingsville. Was born and raised in Leamington, but yeah, it's a lot of farmland. We are known for tomatoes. I don't know. But it's honestly really nice. I love the summers in Leamington, and growing up there, you could do literally everything and anything. We would always go in the water. We would have beach days. We would go for ice cream, biking, like I said. I don't know if I said that already. And truly just enjoy it. Like, we also would get pretty heavy winters. Not as of like recent, but we definitely get bad winters. And we would have the most magical snow days ever. We'd go sledding. As a Canadian, a true Canadian would say tobogganing. But I have like vivid memories of just doing all those things with my family and my friends. And that is the true core of being a Canadian and also being a hockey player. But the purpose of this podcast is to be honest, to be real, and to dive so much deeper than the surface level. And that is something that I have been, striving for and looking for so long in other areas, and I just never got, and I really wanted. And again, I've met people along this journey of mine being in college, and just through my faith, through my relationships, through my friendships, through academics, like everything. I met so many amazing people, and I want to bring them on and to share their knowledge and my knowledge, and just to, inform you guys and to bring you guys a little closer into my life. And I love content creating, and I love sharing my life as it is. I post a lot on Instagram and on TikTok. And I love, again, traveling the world and everything like that. And I was like, I want to share more of this. And like, I felt a calling for so long to do something like this. I wasn't really quite sure what that calling was, but now that I've, re-centered my focus point, I'm like, I know exactly what I want to do with this. I can't wait for more episodes to come out like this. And this is where the inspiration comes from, the education comes from, and just like the one-to-one connection that you may feel like if you're sitting across the screen right now. An individual might be sitting there being like, I'm in a time where I'm in a transition phase of my life, or I am in a time where I'm feeling super depleted, or I'm lost and I need some direction. I'm here and I'm ready to have these conversations, and I am excited to have these conversations. Now, as I'm finishing this chapter and pursuing my new chapter, I've been thinking a lot about my identity. Because for so long, I was the athlete. And now it's like, okay, who am I without just that title? Who am I becoming? And that's not a question that's just a quick response or a quick answer, but I think that's the point of it all. This podcast isn't coming from a place of having it all figured out. It's coming from being in the middle of it. Please like, subscribe, and follow me. I can't wait to have you guys here and just to, witness and to maybe even have some of you on this podcast and to come hang out. I love chit-chatting, and I know most of you do too. So let's close this video out, this podcast out. This is so weird to say, with saying thank you for being committed to me. Bye.